Okay, welcome to the Wednesday, June 26th meeting of the Lenox Select Board. It's our regular meeting, and first on the agenda is our board reorganization. This is a thing that we do every year at this time. So I'm present chairman, but I'll entertain a motion for a new chairman and a new clerk.
Mr. Current Chairman, I move to elect Neil Maximilian as the chair of the Lenox Select Board.
Second.
Vote on that. All those in favor?
Aye.
And I gladly move to elect Ed Lane as clerk of the Lenox Select Board.
Because you're happy for Ed, or because you're relieved to hand off the duty?
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
On that? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
No more butchered names.
No more, yeah. I'll take care of that for you. Okay, so we just move chairs here a little bit.
Chairs. Okay. What's the music they play for musical chairs?
Listen, be careful with this chair. It's got a little, yeah.
Mr. Former Chair, did you have any announcement that you needed
Well,
on your mind?
there is one announcement that I'd love to make, but all of you will chime in with it, with me. And that's to acknowledge our town manager, Mr. Chris Ketchen, as his last night. Yeah, attending meetings here. 10 years Chris has been with us. It's been a great 10 years. And I'm not going to get carried away, Chris, don't you worry. It's, I've thoroughly enjoyed working with you. I've learned a lot. I know more about levee ceilings and stuff than I ever wanted to know. But we've grown to be really, really very good friends, and appreciate that. And now Chris he's moving on to the next chapter in his life. A little less stress probably, more time to spend with his family, which I think he should, with his wife Kim and the 2 kids, Jack and Caleb. And I just wish you the best of luck, every bit of luck you can have.
I couldn't say it better.
Here.
And
Absolutely.
I will also refrain from all the things I'd love to say because I don't want to promote emotions in you, Chris, during the evening, but I've known you since the day you arrived. It's been professional. It's been a wonderful friendship. I can't think of someone that served a town, and particularly Lenox, better than you did in your 10-year tenure. And I want to thank you. I think the town thanks you. At some point in time, we're going to find some way to sneak in, an announcement at a town meeting or something to recognize you. But we'll refrain from that here. But all I can say is thank you so much.
It's been a good ride.
Move on, Chris.
Please.
Godspeed.
I should. I feel compelled to say something. This has been the defining position of my career. When I was 19 years old, I made a decision that I was going to set out a career path to become a town manager. I didn't tell too many people about it because it's not like you sit in in college and talk about, hey, I want to be a town manager when I grow up. But more people should, I think, but they don't. That dream was realized when the Select Board entrusted me 10 years ago with the position, and I will. I never stopped trying to get the job after that for reasons that many of you know and will not go into tonight. But it's truly been an honor, and my heart is overflowing with appreciation and gratitude.
Someday you'll need to tell a wider audience the interview story, but anybody else before we move on? Okay, I suppose I'll say this during this phase. It's really sort of other business, but I'll just get it out there because we don't have other business tonight. I'm just letting the Select Board know and the general public know we're a ways from it, but similar to what's happening at Brushwood, there will be blasting at some point at the Public Safety Building. I'm meeting regularly with the contractors every Thursday. The GC owes us a schedule this Thursday, but What's different about public safety is when blasting occurs, there'll be a temporary shutdown of Housatonic Street. So we're going to make sure that it's on the website and posted, that there's an informational, that it's as best as possible, that we won't be surprising people. And we'll know in the coming week a better idea about when that'll happen. I can say that they're using one of the site work subcontractors. Blasting subcontractor is top-notch, one of the best in all of New England. So we're in good hands, but nonetheless, there'll be some disruptions, and I wanted to get that out there sooner than later.
Because we all expected that at some point.
Yep. And we're going to make sure that it's, information that's readily posted.
Mm-hmm.
With that, if there are no other announcements, I'll open it to Citizens Open Forum. Anyone who has something they wish to say or contribute, please stand up to the microphone and introduce yourself, and feel free to share with us up to 2 minutes.
Thank you. We're not going to take that long. Sonia Bykovsky, 225 Main Street, Lenox. Welcome, Mr. Chair, for the first time.
Thank you.
And Chris, I'll miss you too. I mean that. So I just had a couple things. One is on the communication front. I received the email for your last meeting minutes from, I think that was 6:20. 6:20. But I couldn't open them, and when I did open them today, January 31st meeting minutes were on there. That's okay. I'm just letting you know because I knew you didn't. Okay, sure. And also, I looked at the town, the postings downstairs recently, and I saw a lot of positions I didn't know about. I will just mention again, it's great if you can send them out on the town email list, because there are about 4 positions I didn't know about: the Department of Health, administrative stuff, conservation. And I also noticed it said to write to Lindsay Patinaud, Director of Human Resources, Town of Lenox. I never knew that person existed. We have an HR person, and that's who they are. Okay, all right. Okay, thanks. I was wondering about that. Thank you.
That's a good, I appreciate that. We've tried to review it here amongst our board, but yes, there still exist positions for people to volunteer for, and we would certainly appreciate people willing to do so. Anybody else for open forum? Okay, seeing none, let's move on to the consent agenda, please.
Okay, well, read it for you, Mr. Chair. First on the consent agenda, we have rural recovery resource requests, opioid settlement funds. Details attached in a separate memorandum. I think we should discuss that one. So I'll put a hold on whoever. Next on the consent is Brian Donovan. Donovan Motor Car requests a one-day wine and malt license for July 27th, 12 to 5 at 4 Holmes Road. Certified bartender will be present. I think they do this every year. Marty Kaufman requests a one-day wine and malt license for September 6th, 6 to 10 at Benford Hall, and a certified bartender will be present, and all the paperwork's in order for these. Berkshire Bach Society requests the use of the auditorium for Berkshire Bach Portals event with a film and talk. This is September 6th from 7 to 9 p.m. And the Circus Arts Conservatory requests road signs promoting the performance at the Duffin Theater at LMMHS on July 19th through the 28th. And the town manager has drafted a letter for approval by the board. Doesn't say much there. We should talk about that too. This is for the
Community impact.
community impact thing. Yeah, we should quickly explain what that is. So we'll put a hold on that also.
Too. Okay, we have 2 holds. That's all?
That's all.
Why don't we discuss the holds, or we can move to approve subject to the holds?
I'll make a motion, we accept the consent agenda except for the 2 holds.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, let's discuss the 2 holds.
Okay, I think Mr. Ketchum will probably weigh in on this one, but this is money we have. We currently have $71,379.99 in the account for the opioid special revenue account, and it's going to be divvied up between 2 places. And I think Chris would be better to explain this than I.
Sure. So the balance that Clerk Lane just mentioned was the was the correct amount in the special revenue account. You had previously responded favorably to a request from South County Recovery Center for a portion of those funds. However, we've committed through the budget process $42,831 to fund the Tri-Town Health Co-Responder. So the contribution or grant to South County Recovery Center would be net of our commitment to funding the co-responder position at Tri-Town Health.
Yeah, it's a great use
Makes
of
good
funds.
sense.
It makes total sense. The co-responder is such an important component in assisting, the police and EMS, and so I think it's terrific.
I agree. It's money well spent in a good place.
Right.
That's what I mean.
And better the experts use this money for what it's supposed to be used for than us trying to mount a new thing.
I should have added that the use of these funds are highly restricted to, specific categories in both of these two uses, both what we committed during the budget process and what you wanted to see contributed to a community organization in prior meetings is it qualifies under this special revenue.
I think better than qualified. It's getting it to the people that can use it and know how to use it.
So I'll make a motion, we allocate those funds for those two items.
Second.
All in favor on that motion?
Aye.
Aye.
So the next hold was, Chris has drafted a letter about CAFA Cannabis Dispensary. And we had actually talked to them about this probably 6 months ago. It's been a while, hasn't it? And this is what you should do. It's money for a community impact fee for a cannabis store. And throughout the state, I don't want to say the state handled things incorrectly or wrong, but it kind of it was new ground to everybody. And we were allowed to charge X amount, 3% in this case, for community impact fees. Truth of the matter is there was no impact. So the fair thing to do is just stop them paying that fee and give the money back that we've collected already. We haven't spent anything. And all the towns I think are facing this now. Pittsfield, I think you probably saw an article in the paper today about that.
We're trying to get ahead of
we're trying to be ahead of
where the
it.
law actually is, as opposed to where folks maybe wanted it to be.
But it was new ground to everybody, and we're doing the best they could at the time.
Yeah, I think it's great that we're getting ahead of it.
I agree.
No issues here.
Okay, so I'll make a motion, we follow through with this suspension of the community impact fees.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that concludes our consent agenda. We'll move on to general business. And the first item up for discussion is the Affordable Trust Homebuyer Assistance Program. And there is a pamphlet in our packet regarding that.
It's in there.
Hi, good evening. Kate McNulty Vaughn. I'm here without my planning board hat or my Fix-It-Fair hat on tonight. I'm the current, or new, I should say, chair of the Affordable Housing Trust. Mary Beth has passed the baton on as she moves to something else. And I'd like to thank you for putting this on the agenda. Housing affordability is a crisis in the nation, in the state, in regions, in cities and towns. And I think we recognize in our town that we absolutely have to try to do something about it. So the question is, what are we doing about it now, and where are we heading? And so this is a little bit of an update. The trifold is sort of step one, to sort of amplify and get more out there to the public about what resources are possible for people who want to be home buyers. So if you take a look at that trifold, which since I can't find my own, I'll take a quick walk through it. We haven't had a trifold before. We have had this program, though, since 2014. So this is the Homeowner Assistant Program. We used to call it a Grant Assistant Program. Inside, you'll see that the income qualifications have changed. We're going to 100% of what's called AMI, area median income. Never mind that. You take a look at the figures and the size of the households, because that's how the decision is made. There are other changes. One is that we've upped the cap on household price. So the asking house of a price can be up to $498,000. Clearly, that might be more like the family of 8 persons. But in any case, if anybody can find a house for under that in Lenox, lucky for them these days. The other change is also that we've upped the amount of the grant itself. We were doing, so for the past 9 years of the program, we've gone for $10,000, we doubled it. The grant is now $20,000. What do people have to do? They have to be income qualified, they have to have mortgage approval. All of this is in this brochure, or in this trifold. This has been distributed to bankers and realtors in the county, and we had a meeting with those folks on Monday morning, well attended by the bankers, not so much by the realtors, but we're all in this together. There's no question about that. It was an interesting discussion with those folks. They will work with the town. If there is someone who comes in, has a house that they feel that they can buy in Lenox, there's a bit of a gap, the bankers will let them know about this fund, also a construct money that may or may not be available. I'm not too sure how that stands right at the moment, but that might be able to boost people into actually being able to purchase a home in Lenox. So please talk to your neighbors and friends. That's why we're here tonight. Copies of this are in the community center, the library, the town hall, on the table, in something like this, a holder. And try to get this word out, because it may be helpful to someone as crazy as I look at things here. Okay. I actually was going to say that I think I'm crazy doing this at this point in my life, and I am, but I'm also crazy about the place that my family moved to. My husband was hired at, and my kids worked in the summer for. This is a wonderful place to live. I don't have to tell you people that. You're all residents. Also, people watching, many of you are residents, most of you, and we've got to all work together to try to find some solutions to this housing crisis. So, one of the other things that we are going to be doing in the next few weeks, we hope, is updating the website, the Affordable Housing Trust website, which is on the town website. Not too much has happened on that yet, but we hope to have more accessible information available to people. So if you have any interest in home buying, or you have any interest in other things, you'll be able to go to the Town of Lenox Affordable Housing Trust website and hopefully get information that's useful to you. As far as information that's useful to you, one of the things that I'm not sure a lot of people realize, and I'm going to switch from talking about home ownership to talking to the renters who live in the community right now. We are part of a rental assistance program, and I'm not sure that a lot of residents realize that. And right now, renters are also under a lot of pressure from increased costs of housing. So we are part of that program. If you have any questions or a need for rental assistance, please call Gwen Miller in the land use office and speak to her, because we do have funds available for that. Third on the list, your house needs a new roof, you're elderly, or you're a new family and you have other costs with kids growing and clothing being outgrown too fast and everything else that goes on with children, and you could use some funds to make some improvements to your home. There is a federal program that's available. The town Board of Selectmen have applied for that, the so-called CDBG rehabilitation program. Up to $50,000 in funding is available to individual homeowners who have needs for repairs. Now again, there are income qualifications and other things that you will have to kind of work your way through. We had sessions, Mary Beth can weigh in on this. She did a number of public sessions to talk about this program with people. there will be, in your tax bill that shows up at your home on the, I guess, the 1st of July, there will be a notification about this CDBG housing rehab program. It will have the income qualifications on it. It will have how to follow through on it. And we suggest that you try to get on that waiting list. The town has applied. We're working with Berkshire Community Development and a wonderful woman named Dawn Lemon. And she will get in touch with you if you send her a pre-app or you call her on the phone. And we have had information around about that since January, and other information in these, again, in these same containers in the library and in the town hall and in the community center. So that information has been around. Get that pre-app and take a look at it. And by all means, if you have any concerns, give Dawn Lemon a call and she will help you fill it out. And then she will really encourage you to go to the next step, which is to fill in the much more complicated, income qualification requirements that the federal government puts on this. But Dawn will help you, and other people in town as well. Get those in. Get that waiting list as full of Lenox people as we can. We're doing a joint application, grant application with Lee. In the past, Dawn has done, over the past 4 years, $3.8 million in federal funding for this program, and over 100 houses have been rehabilitated. That's pretty great. And if people need this help, by all means, make use of these resources. Okay, next on my list. I guess everybody in town talks about home ownership. We want people to be able to come in and live here. Wonderful quality of life, wonderful schools, all of these things. So the Affordable Trust will be pivoting towards working on home ownership projects. What they are, we don't really know at this point. But with the Penrose projects coming in and taking care of adding additional rental housing at market rates and at income rates that people, low and moderate income people can utilize, we'll be looking at a variety of different things that we might be able to do. And we'll try to focus our efforts on working with the planning board as well to make changes in the zoning bylaw that may allow for more housing to come into the town in places that it might not be possible now. So be aware that we will be working on these things, and I hope that probably once a month somebody will come in and try to give you an update on what's happening. It may be me, it may be another member of the Affordable Housing Trust, but there are resources out there for citizens and residents and renters, and we want you to take advantage of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. Love the energy behind this. Could I ask a quick question? Sorry, I should have waited should have said that first, so you didn't sit down. There's assistance with the home renovation in Dawn. Is there, so the brochure is well done, but it could be intimidating as well to people. Is there, does the trust sort of put themselves out there as being available to walk someone through, or is there a resource that will be sort of identified, if you're intimidated by the qualifications and the counseling process you have to go through and the not sell process and all those things?
Right. For a first-time home buyer, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like, Gwen Miller is a great resource in the town hall. Hopefully, the website will have other contacts and other help. For the most part, if somebody's looking to buy a house in town, they can give Gwen a call. They should get in touch with a banker, they should get in touch with a realtor, and those folks are aware of all of the parts of the program. Basically what happens is the bank will notify the town that they have a buyer who meets a certain set of qualifications, and that will begin a process that Gwen will undertake. I went back and forth with Gwen today on email. And so somebody will come in, they'll meet the qualifications, and they'll try to turn it around very quickly. The town already has the paperwork for this. The person who's buying does have to sign a promissory note, an agreement that if they sell the house that they bought within 5 years, they do have to return some of that grant, but only, 1/5 every year. We have had We've been running the program for 9 years. We've given out about $144,000 to 17 different households who utilize this program. Only 3 of them ever sold, within that 5-year period. Sometimes someone inherited a house, or had to move or whatever. So the program is run pretty smoothly between knowledgeable bankers, knowledgeable realtors, and town hall.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if that answered.
Yes, I just want to make sure that we have people to
Yeah.
help demystify the process to folks that might be a little...
Right. And people should be able to ask any trust members. We don't have names on this, but the names are on the website.
Right.
And hopefully, our trust members will be able to answer some of the questions as well.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? on
Yeah,
that?
people can feel free. My email address is right there on the town website. I've been administering programs like this. I used to do this in my former life in California, so I'm very well aware of first-time home buying programs. But any banker that you would go to get a mortgage pre-qualification knows about this program already. As Kate mentioned, we've been doing this program for 9 years. So, your mortgage officer is going to be able to tell you about this and walk you through the whole thing.
Okay, you mentioned many, many different things here. And you're not crazy either. Thank you for doing it. But would it be fair to say that if a call, some people aren't too good with websites and emails and all that, just a call to town hall, to the land use director is the best way to get verbal information?
Yes.
Is that the best?
Yes, and Nina, who's the person picking up the phone, is very familiar with the programs as well, and going to be more so as they kind of unfold during her tenure here.
Great.
Yep, so, and thank you to Mary Beth, because she's also our, pocket expert here. So, not everyone has that.
Okay, anything else on that?
You can stay there, I'll ask Mary Beth the question. During the 9 years that she mentioned, how many people have availed themselves of the program?
17 households.
17 households?
Yeah, we've given out $144,000
Okay.
in these particular grants. Only 3 of them have been returned at some level to the town as program income. So we're able to use that money to help other households.
Okay, oh, thank you.
I think doubling the numbers is going
Yeah,
to be more attractive.
Yeah,
well,
definitely.
we can work at it.
If anyone can figure out how to lower housing costs, that would really be attractive.
You don't want to know those ideas.
No, that's good.
We need a whiteboard in these.
Yes.
Okay. Can we move on? Let's move on. The next item on our agenda is the license amendment for an addition of second property to the licensed premises Berkshire Auto Group LLC doing business as Berkshire Mazda.
I don't think there's anyone, there's a representative here, but, it's relatively simple.
It's
There,
pretty straightforward.
You know more about it than I do, I think,
Well,
but.
not really, I don't think, but just a license to sell car, to
Right.
do business. It's just as plain and simple as that.
They're amending it to include an additionally acquired parcel, right next door, so, or across the street.
Across the street. And I read the zoning board's decision on it, and they were happy with it. I thought a little bit about traffic, but they looked at all of that, and their decision, said, go for it, so they voted it unanimous. So I see no issues with it at all.
Yeah, I saw that the paperwork was in there, and I was comfortable that the ZBA had reviewed it, and
As long as the police chief was in favor of it. I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
Was there I'm assuming they did a traffic study and everything else, so if that's all been taken care of.
They mentioned, they did talk about traffic. They didn't say a traffic study specifically, but they did, talk about traffic. One of the things they did look at was the unloading of trucks.
Right.
Which is a big thing, and there's plenty of room, there's a parking lot big enough around it to get a truck in, unload in there, not on the road or anything.
Great. Good.
the construction went reasonably fast.
Yeah.
Compared to some other projects, I was impressed with the pace.
Yeah.
So we'll need a motion for this.
So I'll move to approve the license amendment application for Berkshire Auto Group LLC doing business as Berkshire Mazda dated June 12th, 2024 for addition at 475 Pittsfield Road to the existing Class 1 license.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Thank you. Moving on now, we are going to have a public hearing relative to Jeffrey King doing business as Shire Donuts. They request a common victular license to sell food. So first I have to open the public hearing.
Well, we actually don't need a public hearing for this. We don't need, there was a notice, we can just move right into
There's
it.
a notice to read.
There's no notice to read.
Okay.
We can move right into the main,
Okay, let's go right into
the
it.
meat of it. So probably if you're here to talk about it, just tell us what you're doing, you know? Stand up to the mic, just introduce yourself, it's for the camera.
No, I'm all set.
Okay, my name's Jeff King, and this is my wife Heather. We own Shire Donuts, which we opened our first shop over 4 years ago in Adams, opened a second shop in Dalton, made the decision at the end of last year to close our Adams shop in the hopes of opening either one in Williamstown or Lenox. The opportunity presented itself here in Lenox, and we've been working on our space, which is at 51 Church Street, which is the old Scoop location. And I guess we're looking for for an approval on our application for a business license.
Well, I can say we're glad you chose Lennox instead of Williamstown.
Can I ask you what your hours are planning to be?
So we're currently considering Wednesday to Sunday in the mornings, 8 to 12, which is more than we do in Dalton, but we want to take advantage of the season here. Dalton's more of a destination, I think, location for us. People are coming from Pittsfield, they're coming from North County. We were certainly getting them from South County. Here in Lenox, because it's a different dynamic, we feel like we want to be open more often and maybe longer hours. So we're going to start with Wednesday to Sunday, maybe scale it back a little bit as we get into the winter months, but we'll see how it goes.
Great. Great. It sounds amazing. I've been there several times.
Oh, good.
I
Thank
still haven't been there the mornings that you make chocolate donuts, which crushes me a little bit, but I'll get there at some point.
And if you follow us on Facebook,
Oh.
that's typically where we announce
Okay.
when we're doing the chocolate donuts.
Good. Yeah, no, I think it's terrific. How are you guys staffed? Do you have enough people?
Right now, we've been very fortunate. We've never had any trouble with staffing. Right now, we actually have a lot of our initial employees back from college. They were high school employees at the time. So they're anxious to get started with us. We will probably need to hire a few high school kids, or I don't want to say just high school kids, but we'll need a couple of new hires in the fall after the rest of that crew goes back to college. But we've been very fortunate with staff so far.
They get free donuts if they work there.
They do. Yes, they do.
It's my slow time of year.
Yeah. There are perks and benefits.
That's great.
Tom, you're slow?
Sir?
My back is sore. If you're slow.
It's my slow time of year in the fall. Thank you.
Well, that's
Any
great.
other-
It sounds like it's a terrific endeavor. Your product is fantastic.
Thank you.
It's a great location. You know, people have been coming to the Scoop for years, so they will automatically go to see what's there next.
We've had a few. I'm there every day right now working on the shop, and there was some disappointed people poking their head in expecting ice cream. So hopefully we can.
This year you can send them off the street a little bit. Last year-
And I have been, right,
Yeah.
right. So there are options.
Right.
But,
Great. Oh, it'd be nice to have donuts
Yes.
nearby.
Good.
It's a phenomenal product, so I think you're going to be soon fielding requests to be open more days.
Yeah.
Which will-
Okay, that's a good problem.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the common victular license application for Shire Donuts located at 51 Church Street.
I'll enthusiastically second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you. Terrific, good luck with your business.
Thanks.
Okay. do rentals and keep the other thing to old business?
We just do the current short-term rental
Yeah.
thing. which is-
Okay, so the next item on our agenda is to discuss the short-term rental general bylaw. And Chris, maybe you can give us a little background here.
Maybe I can weigh in on it a little bit.
Vacation.
He was on vacation.
I wasn't clear.
Here's,
I apologize, I was absent last 2 weeks ago for unexpected reasons, so I...
okay, here's what's happening with this. As everybody knows, 2 years ago, whenever it was, we passed a short-term bylaw. And it was great. The bylaw is great. The problem is the enforcement. There's no enforcement mechanism. And Deanna's been working with land use, with our land use director, with the building inspector, and they've found a good software that they can use, we can buy and use, and it tracks pretty much everything we need, so we can track everybody that is in the short-term rental business. This is what people have been clamoring for. Everybody said, okay, short-term rental's fine, but how are you going to enforce it? Well, this is going to enforce it, and that'll dovetail with the building inspector, so that inspections for fire inspections, safety inspections, all that'll be in a timely manner, and it's just it's the way it should be done. The reason it's on here tonight is just to, one, get it out there that this is happening, and they've met quite a few times, but they'd like a couple members from this board to get involved, just so we know what's going on, and we can put our blessing in, or our input into it, and then they can get this going, and it's very close to starting up. We can start this almost any time.
I would love to be a part of that.
Yeah, I think you probably should.
Yeah,
in
no,
my
that
opinion.
sounds like a really, I mean, we've been talking about the lack of teeth that we have for this.
Yeah. No,
So
so this is
I would love to
important,
get
and it's
into
been a
this.
long time coming, so. Anybody, nobody else? Max,
Yeah,
you want
sure.
to? Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds good to me.
Yeah.
On a separate note, I think we've heard from people over the last 6 months some general concerns about housing and the, short-term rentals and whatnot. I want to clarify that this is not putting a stop to those potential future discussions. This is just notice of this implementation that you're doing, and not the only time we're going to talk about short-term rentals down the road.
Yeah, but it'll be nice to have a way to issue, compiled reports, find out, where the properties are, track them, make sure the fire department, the police department know where they are. That's really critical. So,
Apparently, it's a good system that they've found.
yeah. I've heard about
That's
this.
all I have on it.
Anybody else? I appreciate the update, Ed.
Not at all.
Sorry to put you on the spot there, Chris. I knew you were on vacation. I should have thought better. Let's get back up to the top, or I can go from this piece of paper. Next, we want to discuss, or rather appoint, a town manager screening committee. This was continued from the meeting that I unexpectedly had to miss. I apologize for that. That has put a dent on our schedule somewhat, but we're going to implement the process tonight. Did you folks at the last meeting review the process by which you intend to do this?
I think we did, but I could go over it again.
If it's the same as what we
It's the
have,
same as we said. The thought process was we'd start at one end, work through the table. One person would nominate somebody on the list of
Yep.
13 or
okay,
whatever
so
we
it's the
have.
same as what was intended to
Yeah,
be.
we vote for it. If it's 3-2, you're on. If 2-3, you're not on, or, unanimous. And if you nominate somebody and they don't get elected into it, just move on to another name. Pretty simple way to do it.
Okay.
Okay. I was really impressed with the experience that everybody had. I was even more impressed that we have so many people that have town experience or municipal experience, and have really put a lot in to the community. So I would like to nominate Mary Jo Peretti Miller to be on this.
Second.
Okay.
Okay, well, we've had a nomination and a second. Let's go ahead and vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Great.
Guess we should check that off. Will you take care of that?
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
I wanted to say the same thing. The number of responses and the impressive resumes that we received is I'm really excited that we have that much interest in, I'm sorry?
I wanted to know if I could ask a question.
Why don't you let us get us through this process first, if you don't mind, unless does it directly relate to this process?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll entertain your question if you can keep it brief.
You want me to?
I think so.
225 Main Street, Lenox. So this group of applicants, according to the Town Manager Act, there will be no town employees or elected or appointed officials, nor their immediate families, nor any business associates serving on the committee, correct? Okay.
Yes, we made
And
that very clear.
That is a great number that you got in there, applicants.
Concerning the size of our town.
Yeah.
And how many people have a linkage in some way or another to something,
Yeah,
it's a great list.
it is, yeah. Thank you.
I nominate Barry Pollard.
Second?
All in favor of Barry Pollard?
Aye.
Aye. I guess it's my turn. I would like to nominate Shannon Gibson.
Second.
Any discussion? Go ahead and vote. All in favor? Aye.
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to nominate Susan Wolf.
Second.
Second.
Okay,
Sounds
let's
good.
go ahead and vote on Susan Wolf, please.
Aye.
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 My turn. I'd like to nominate Vince Lanning.
Second.
Let's go ahead and vote on Vince Lanning. All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Sounds like a good crew, fantastic crew. There's nobody that's not good on this list. So we'll, I talked to Lindsay and she'll notify all these people, or between Deanna and Lindsay, notify all these people and tomorrow and give them their marching orders, and hopefully they can just start on this very quickly. It should, there's been a number of applicants, I can't tell you how many, and I don't know, we're not privy to that information, but there's been a lot of applicants, so they should be able to cull through that bunch, and we'd love to see within a month, probably, I mean, I'm being optimistic, we could get it down to, 5 names to submit to us, or 3 to perform interviews.
Yeah, I just want to make a note about this. In the special act for the town of Lenox, there is a residency requirement that the town manager be a town resident. And
Within a year.
Oh, within a year?
Within a
Oh, okay.
year.
Oh, okay. That's really great. I had forgotten that tiny little detail.
It's restricted on
Okay. That's really good to hear, because we have, looked at this, we've gone through and done a big update, but I think it's incumbent upon us as the select board to now review it as the select board and prepare it for town meeting in November, for the special town meeting that we'll have in November.
It was probably great in a day, but we found it really needs some help.
It's restricted.
Yeah,
Yeah, it really is
Yeah.
restricted.
But,
yeah. Well, we can go over it. We did scrub it pretty good in
Oh, yeah.
2018 or 2019, but we just haven't looked at it
we
since
have a
then.
second-time person doing this, so hopefully they can hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Mary Jo
Yeah,
on the group the last time.
right.
I want to express appreciation for everyone who put their hat in the ring. It's wonderful in a town where so many people are involved in so many things to be able to ferret, that's the wrong word, but for 17 people to be able to fit all those restrictive qualifications and offer to do something that's very important to the town is greatly appreciated.
I got another question.
Please. Oh, okay.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
So, what do you mean you're sorry? Sonia Bykowski, 225 Main Street. I had a question about the actual job posting for the town manager. I can't find the job posting for the town manager. I can't find it on the town website. I did a Google search for it, and I got something through, Google that basically talked about how we're a thriving community. We have a FY 2025 $3.4 million budget, AAA bond rating, includes chief admin, financial, procurement, but the job posting said no degree requirement was listed, which I found odd. And I have a copy of it here. It doesn't say much, but that came up on a Google search. So I did just want to point out again that the Town Manager Act is pretty specific about that. College degree at the bachelor level, completed courses in the fields of admin, finance, business, and shall have had 3 years of full-time paid experience in a supervisory administrative position in municipal government. And then it went on to say a master's degree may substitute for not more than 1 year of such said experience, and no person holding elective or appointed office in the town shall, within 3 years holding such office, be eligible for appointment as town manager. So does somebody have the actual posting of the job that I can get a copy of?
Yeah.
Okay, and can we put that on the town website since the search is still on?
Well, the search is not on. I mean, it was advertised, I mean, I can speak to this a little bit. I mean, this was advertised in the International City County Managers Association, which is where, I think is where I found it originally 10 years ago. That's where your city managers are gonna look. It was also advertised with the Massachusetts Municipal Association, which is where Massachusetts managers are gonna look. Also in the surrounding New England states with town meeting form of government, so Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Vermont.
The search is
and
not still
Maine.
on. Does that mean there's someone we're hiring?
The application period has closed as
I see.
of Monday.
Yeah.
As of Monday.
Thank you.
So
Okay.
so those ads, many of them will have been taken
Okay.
down at this point, I think.
Okay, thank you.
But there may be some still up.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
perhaps.
Yeah, I'll speaking for myself. I've read the special act probably more times in the last month than had in the past 4 years, trying to make sure that we're following all the details of it. And I'm confident that we are and will continue to be. So I think now that we have our screening committee, it's up to them to take the next step and whittle it down. Anything else before we move to old business?
What's that? Firefly? We're going to do that. Oh,
So, under old business, we have a continued public hearing regarding the Firefly Restaurant.
Hello, Grace Enschel here from Heller and Robbins, representing Roseboro Grill, doing business as Firefly. We've got an amendment to the ABCC to amend the liquor license at Firefly to reflect the transfer of stock interest and a change in directors. I'm here also with Jane Blanchard, current treasurer of the corporation and liquor license manager. She's now purchased 100% of the stock interest, and she's the sole officer and director, president, treasurer, secretary. And we just want to reflect that with our liquor license. Do you have any questions? Business as usual. The Firefly, everything will continue, just administrative changes there.
So had you opened the public
We
hearing?
did open the public hearing.
Okay, so I think we need to close it and then we can
We
vote.
would need to close it and then vote.
I'm good.
So I'll make a motion, we close the public hearing and vote.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. So now I'll make a motion to approve the application for retail alcoholic beverage license for Roseboro Grill, Inc., doing business as Firefly, dated May 17, 2024.
Another enthusiastic second.
Dave's enthusiastic about food tonight.
I know where I'm going later, right?
I'd just like to say, point of discussion. Point of discussion. Jane, thank you very much for stewarding this particular establishment.
Yes.
Over the last few years. It's been, I know it's been somewhat rocky and difficult, and you have really brought a level of professionalism to the restaurant, and it's firing on all cylinders, and we thank you for that stability.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Now, we've had a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. If no one has anything else, I think we are ready to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.